Level 4 of Hedy is about using quotation marks. But before we go to Hedy, let's look at Python once again, because level 4 for me is really embodying something that I saw students struggling with all the time. If you want to print something in Python, you have to put round brackets around the word and also quotation marks like this. So if you run it, this works. But if you remove one quotation mark and you run the code, Python gets entirely mad. It's like EOL while scanning string literal. I understand what this means, but most people don't. So this is something I wanted to prevent in Hedy, these type of error messages that make students believe that programming is just like unreasonably hard. How I did that is by relieving the need to do quotation marks in level 3 and 2, right? So let's look at level 2. If I have something like this, I can do name is Feline, print hello name. This just works, right? In Hedy, level 2 and level 3. I do not need to put quotation marks there because the Hedy system behind the screens adds the quotation marks in. This, however, does lead to certain limitations, and maybe you have thought of this, or maybe you've seen your students run into these limitations. For example, if I want to print the sentence, so your name is Feline, now I have a problem because Hedy cannot process this properly. Now you get your Feline is Feline. That's probably not what you want. So what we're introducing here is the need for quotation marks. Look kids, if you don't have quotation marks, the computer cannot know when you mean the word name and when you mean the variable name. And this is what we fix in level 4. So if we go to level 4, all of a sudden you have to put quotes around text that you want to exactly print. So now it looks like this. You need to use quotation marks from now on. And then this question, the answer to this question will be repeated. What do we need to use? Quotes, and that will be repeated here. You also see that Hedy makes text purple now and keeps variable names in white, so it's easier to see what's going on. What is also important, and this is why I said this is for me such an interesting level, is that we've worked on error messages a lot. So if you do forget a quote here, then Hedy will tell you in sort of a friendly way, saying if you ask or print something, the text should start and finish with a quotation mark. And you forgot that for the text, you need to use quotation marks from now on. So we tell you what text you still need to surround in quotation marks. And you can see that this is really very different from what we have in Python, where, well, it does point you to the problem, but the way it is phrased is just very, very complex. So this is the one concept that we explain in level 4. If you want to print literal text, it needs to be surrounded by quotation marks.